This is Christopher John Bjerknes. It is May 12th, 2025. Back in April, I started to talk about the fact that Donald Trump is playing the scripted role of Armalus. And what tipped me off to that was that he was posing as the Pope, and that meant that he would have both clerical and profane power, sacred and profane power, and that he would have two heads. He would be like the double-headed eagle of the Byzantine Empire and the Holy Roman Empire, and that would mark him as the leader of the Edomite Christian West, the Roman Empire, to be destroyed in the end times apocalyptic war. For 20 years, I have been warning the world that they're going to follow the script for the battles of Gog and Magog for the apocalypse of Armageddon, which is set forth in the Jewish apocalypses of Sefer, Zerubbabel, and Avkat Rokel. And I wrote about all that in my book, The Manufacture and Sale of St. Einstein, back in 2006. I brought it up many, many times in my blog posts on my blog, jewishlacism.blogspot.com, which has been taken down and completely censored, but still exists in the Wayback Machine. And I did that because I had a strong intuitive feel and a premonition that that was the script that they're going to follow. And I followed that up. I also wrote in Beware of the World to Come about all of that. And I introduced what I found in this book, The Voice of the Turtle Dove, Kol HaTor. It's the writings of Rabbi Hillel Shocklover, who was a student of the Gaon of Vilna. And it records his views on all of this, on Armalus, on Messiah, son of David, both Gentile and Jewish, and Messiah, son of Joseph, both Gentile and Jewish. And I was talking about for many, many years, for decades, that Benjamin Netanyahu is playing the role of the Jewish Messiah, son of Joseph. And then I realized that Donald Trump, is playing the role of the Gentile Messiah, son of Joseph, who is Armalus. And he has two heads because he represents the power of the state and the power of the church combined in one. And he is the Jewish version, the Jewish equivalent of the Antichrist. He's really just the name that the Jews attach to the Antichrist. The Christ, Messiah, son of Joseph, Jesus, returned as the Antichrist, Donald Trump, to get us all killed, just as Messiah, son of Joseph, Armalus, Jesus Christ, led the Romans into their destruction. He's returning as Donald Trump to lead all of humanity into complete destruction. And he is posing as if he were the head of the Roman Catholic Church, because that is his role, is to identify as the resurrection of the Roman Empire at the end of the cycle, at the beginning of the cycle of the age of Pisces. The Roman Empire, under the directorship of Tiberius Julius Alexander, sacked Jerusalem, sent the Jews into the Roman exile, and destroyed the Second Temple. Now that process has to be reversed, and it has to be the Roman Empire, which is destroyed, as represented primarily by America and the West in general, who are the reincarnated souls of Cain, Esau, Satan, Jesus, and the Romans, who now have to be completely exterminated to complete that cycle, to complete the cycle of the three ages of Taurus, Aries, and Pisces, the 6 days of creation, the 6,000 years. So this is the culmination of the 2,000-year period of Christianity and the 6 days of the patriarchs, the Jews, patriarchs under Taurus, the Jews under Aries, and the Christians under Pisces, which leads into the world to come. And that is ushered in through the war of the apocalypse in the Valley of Armageddon, which is the Christian version of the Battle of Gog and Magog, even though Gog and Magog is supposed to be post-millennial. But I don't want to digress too much into all that. So since April, I've been re-exposing people to this work that I've been doing for 20 years to desperately warn humanity that we are being set up to be completely obliterated. And they are using all of this symbolism that I anticipated that they would use. And I tagged Donald Trump as Armalus. And what Armalus does is he goes to war with Messiah, son of Joseph, and he brings Christendom into Israel, into the restored Jews in Palestine, and wages war against them. And primarily, he draws in the Christians into war with the Jews in this valley and in Jerusalem itself. And now Trump is symbolically being portrayed as if he's going to war with Netanyahu, Messiah, son of Joseph. We know it's all fake. We know it's all staged. Whether it takes place or not is yet to be seen. But what's vitally important is to recognize that it is being portrayed symbolically as a form of sympathetic magic, as I was talking about in one of my walk and talks. The Jews and the Kabbalists very much create their gods as egregores, and they try to generate the future through sympathetic magic by talking about it. God supposedly, based upon the Egyptian myth of Ptah, God supposedly wrote the universe into existence, or dreamed or thought the universe into existence through language, through letters and words. So by utilizing letters and words and languages and portraying images in our minds, they believe that they are the masters of chaos. They have become God, and they are molding chaos into the form of their will, into the shape that they want it to take. And as I've been saying for 20 years, the shape that they want it to take is the shape of the Jewish apocalypses of Sefer Zerubbabel and Avkat Rokel. And that calls for this war of the Christian Edomite West, meaning Christians as the descendants of the Romans, and especially the Roman Catholic Church, and America, and all of the West, especially represented by Great Britain as the so-called Atlanticist Leviathan powers of America and Great Britain, to be pitted against the behemoth of the Eurasianist East, and to mutually consume and destroy one another. And all that is being set up exactly as I foretold 20 years ago. So if Trump does go forward with this idea of a two-state solution, that would bring Christians into Israel, challenging the sovereignty of the nation of Israel and at war with Netanyahu and the Israelis. And if this two-state solution were to incorporate parts of Jerusalem into those two states, as opposed to simply pushing them across the Jordan River into Jordan and into Saudi Arabia and down through the Sinai into Egypt, which may be the plan for the two-state solution, or finding a state for them in Spain, Germany, Ireland, and England. And that may be part of their two-state solution too, has been for many years. But if they do go hardcore and they think they can get away with it and they start to get momentum with it, that's another thing that they're doing, is teasing all this stuff to see if they can get away with it and how far they can get away with it. So they are creating egregores. They are trying to do sympathetic magic to bring these things in, and they are testing the waters to see what they can pull off and how people will react. But if they do go full steam with this, that means that they are waging the battle of Gog and Magog, as I predicted, and then as happened, the war against King Shirui took place. The 9 months of the birth pangs of the Mashiach were fulfilled, and Benjamin Netanyahu, Messiah, son of Joseph, slew King Shiroi of Persia, which is also a big part of all these prophecies. And then I said Persia, Iran, would now play a new role in the battle of Gog and Magog. And Trump is snuggling up to Iran and to the Houthis and the Shia Muslims. And he is setting up a coalition of nations, which could be portrayed as those nations in Ezekiel 38 and 39, which includes Persia in this coalition of 10 nations to wage war against Israel, but then to be brought down and Israel to obtain assistance, but being attacked by the whole world. They have various apocalypses by which they could bring in the Eurasianists on their side, or they could have the whole world attack Israel, but then also concurrently attack one another and completely annihilate one another. And Israel could kick it off with their Samson option to bring all that to fruition. So let's look at some of the apocalypses and what I took out of this book and incorporated into my book, Beware the World to Come, what it is that the Gaon of Vilna had to say. Now, the Gaon of Vilna is the premier authority on all this in the entire history of Judaism. And at the beginning of this book, it talks about the idea that he is the Messiah, son of Joseph. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. But right in here, it begins with him asserting that the Gaon of Vilna is the Messiah, son of Joseph. Well, lo and behold, I discovered that Benjamin Netanyahu is a direct descendant of the Gaon of Vilna, who's the Messiah, son of Joseph, and whose views on all this are in this book. And he is now, Benjamin Netanyahu is playing the role in that dynasty, the direct lineage to him of Messiah, son of Joseph, who goes to war with King Shiroi, defeated King Shiroi, as I predicted, and now goes to war with Armalus and is to be killed by Armalus. So let's have a look at these apocalypses and how this script is written, who the key actors are, and how these events are meant to unfold and bring about the complete extermination of the Amalekite, Edomite, Roman West, who represents Christendom and represents primarily America, as I was been saying for 20 years. I had long sections in my book in 2006 on who the modern Edomites are, how they represent the descendants of the Romans, and the fact that they are led by America and the Roman Catholic Church, and that they are slated to be Amalek and to be completely exterminated. So this is vitally important for people to understand, which is why I'm hitting it so hard and trying to convince people that we need to do something about this immediately, and to let them know that they're not going to get away with this. I've been doing several videos on this, beginning in April, where I talked about Trump as Pope and President. And I said in that video on April 30th and in tweets before that, that Trump is playing the role of two-headed Armalus. And I started talking about how that relates to the double-headed eagle and his role as head of church and head of state in violation of the Constitution. And after that, after I identified all that simply from Trump pretending to be the Pope, the White House itself put out a picture of him with the double-headed eagle, portraying him as Armalus. And even after that, even after I had said that this portends this battle between Trump and Netanyahu as Messiah, son of Joseph, Trump then starts going to war with Messiah, son of Joseph, Netanyahu. And propaganda is disseminated around the world that he's going to go for a two-state solution, that Netanyahu is vehemently opposed to that, that if there's a unilateral action by the United States in that direction, that Israel will engage in a unilateral action against it. And all of that happened after I marked Trump as Armalus, and after I marked Netanyahu as Messiah, son of Joseph, and I said that they might go to war with one another to fulfill these apocalyptic scripts that are found in Avkat Rokel, which appeared in the early 1500s in Constantinople. And the Sefer Zerubbabel, which is much older, I think it's 7th century, right around the time that Islam was founded, to help set up the battle between the Leviathan of Christianity and the behemoth of Islam, which was created by the Jews for that purpose. So this is from the Jewish Apocalypse Avkat Rokel. It's also called Abbas Rokel, depending on which dialect you're referring to. The seventh miracle, they say that at Rome there is a certain piece of marble in shape resembling a virgin, the Virgin Mary, so framed and fashioned not by man's workmanship, but by the Lord's hand. To this image shall all the wicked livers in the world gather themselves. It's also said to be Satan himself, or his evil dominions and minions on the earth, and burning in lust towards it shall commit incest with it. Hereupon, in the same marble will the Lord form an infant. That infant's Armalus, the Antichrist, the child of the devil, like in the movies, like The Omen, if I remember correctly, in other movies about the Antichrist, which by a certain rupture shall issue out of it. This infant shall be called Armalus Harasha, Armalus the wicked. The Gentiles are considered the wicked, the Kelipat, the Sitra Achra, the evil other side, the Rishoyim, and shall be the same which the Christians call Antichrist. Armalus is Antichrist. I was tagging Trump as Antichrist for many years, and that is tagging him as Armalus. To the Jews simply call Antichrist Armalus. His length and breadth shall be 10 ells, the space betwixt his eyes and the palms crosswise. His hollow eyes red, his hair yellow like gold, like Trump. The soles of his feet green like money, like Trump standing on piles of money. And to make his and you often see pictures of that, Trump standing on a big heap of money, so that his soles are green. He shall have 2 heads, like the 2-headed eagle, representing the Byzantine Roman Eastern Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, in which the emperor held clerical and profane power based upon Antiochus IV Epiphanes, who said that he was God and had to be worshipped as God by a statue of Zeus in the Jewish temple, which he put in there when he made the high priest consume pork and sacrifice pigs in the temple. And then Caligula wanted to mimic what Antiochus IV Epiphanes had done and put in a statue of Zeus, Jupiter, likewise into the temple as representing himself as God Emperor. They both portrayed themselves as God Emperor. Trump is being portrayed as God Emperor, as Messiah, son of Joseph. He is the Antichrist. He is Armalus. And if he fulfills this set of apocalypses, then he's going to go to war with Netanyahu to bring about the Samson option, to bring about a war between the nuclear powers as they tried to gin up between Pakistan and India, as I foretold back in 2006. And that will culminate in the extermination of humanity. The nuclear bombs won't wipe everybody out, but they will continue the attacks on humanity until humanity is gone, save for these perverse chimeras of 600,000 immortal androgynes that they want to generate out of their Messiah, son of Joseph, who shows up in these apocalypses in the same way that Adam supposedly is the progenitor of all mankind, and Noah is supposedly the progenitor of all mankind. The progenitor of the Jews of the world to come are all meant to come out of Messiah, son of David. He shall have 2 heads. He, coming to the wicked king of Rome, shall affirm himself to be the Messiah and the God of Romans. That's the wicked king of Rome. So if Trump goes up to the Pope, he is the Pope is the king of Rome. So if Trump goes up to the Pope, as he has been posturing to do, and says that no, the Pope isn't God, it's he himself as the intermediary between heaven and earth and the representative of God and the God Emperor, if this farce continues and is continually a tongue-in-cheek joke, it is fulfilling this prophecy that Armalus is going to the Pope of Rome, the King of Rome, the Bishop of Rome, and proclaiming himself as God and the leader of the Romans, and not the Pope himself, as he has done. He's openly done that, and he did it after. I forecast all this. To whom they easily give credit and make him king over them. All the sons of Esau, that will be the Edomites, the Amalekite, Edomite Christian Romans of the West of America, Great Britain, and Western Europe, all white people, shall love and stick fast unto him. He shall bring under his yoke the whole Roman monarchy, meaning all the nations of the West, and to all Esau's offspring, glorifying in the name of Christian, he shall say, bring me the law which I give unto you. As I've been saying, and as I was the first to say, this is why we have this Christian nationalism emerging and focused primarily on the Roman Catholic Church to fulfill this script. Now, this script says that we are to gain lots of power, so there are a lot of very foolish and uninformed people going along with this. The way this script ends is with our complete extermination. So it is suicidal to go along with this script, and the people who are leading us down this garden path, these Pied Pipers and Judas goats, are setting us up to be exterminated. Glorying in the name of Christian, he shall say, bring me the law which I give unto you, which they shall presently deliver together with their book of common prayer. As I said before, Trump put out his Bible, which he shall receive as true and legitimate, acknowledging that he gave the law like Moses and book unto them, desiring that they will believe in him. These things, once finished, shall lead to his ambassadors to Jerusalem, to Nehemiah, the son of Husiel, that is Messiah, son of Joseph, that is Benjamin Netanyahu. After Trump goes around the Middle East and visits with the Middle Eastern leaders, he's then going to go with his ambassadors or send his ambassadors to Jerusalem, to Netanyahu, to fulfill this script, which culminates in our extermination. And to all congregation of Israel, they may even call up a Sanhedrin if they at this rate, with this mandate to bring their law unto him and confess him to be God. So Netanyahu's going to have to bow down to Armalus Trump. And one of the things that this book talks about is that the Jews all have to pray that when this happens, the Gaon of Vilna's descendant, the Messiah, son of Joseph of his generation, who just happens to be his descendant, Benjamin Netanyahu, certainly not by coincidence, all Jews have to pray that Benjamin Netanyahu defeats Armalus and kills Armalus and is not killed by Armalus. And the Secret Service of the United States should be aware of all this, because this portends the notion that the Israelis, I'm sorry, I have allergies, the Israelis may attempt to assassinate Trump, heaven forbid. So the Secret Service should pay very close attention to what I'm saying and to these apocalyptic prophecies, because they foretell this war between Netanyahu and Trump, and that one of them has to go. The same way that Jesus Barabbas and Jesus Christ, one of them had to go. And one of them had to go so that eventually Messiah, son of David, Jesus Barabbas, would take the throne and defeat the Romans. And that's what's about to happen, and we're all going to be killed if people don't start paying attention to what I'm saying and paying attention to my solutions. to Jerusalem, to Nehemiah, the son of Husiel, who is the Messiah, son of Joseph, Benjamin, Netanyahu, and to all the congregation of Israel with this mandate, etc., etc. At the report of this, fear and wonder assault their souls, and Nehemiah, Messiah, son of Joseph, accompanied with 300,000 volunteers of the tribe of Ephraim, carrying also the book, Ephraim, son of Joseph, related to the Joseph side of the Ashkenazi, carrying also the book of the law with him shall come unto Armalus, and out of it read him this sentence, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have none other gods before me. This is very famous in Jewish history. This is what the Jews who refused to convert and become Marranos would say. This is what, whenever a Jew was put before a king, or I forget the story of the ones who were to be burned. I think they were sons of Aaron, maybe, and they refused to bow down and worship, who was it, as a god with the golden statue. They also affirmed that they believed in God and not in idols. So we have this repetition of this emperor, God emperor, portraying himself as an idol to be worshipped, and the righteous Jews refusing to do so, instead opting to allow themselves to be killed. And very often they are given the armor of God, and it is instead the emperor who wants to be worshipped as an idol who is killed. So this has a very long and deep and rich history in Judaism that's beyond the scope of what I'm discussing now. Perhaps I'll do something about that another time. To whom Armalus, making answer, shall deny any such sentence to be extant in their law, and therefore they ought to acknowledge him for a god, following the example of the Christians and other people of the earth. And the Christians are now worshiping Trump as God. Then shall Nehemiah, the son of Husiel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Messiah, son of Joseph, in that instant command his followers to bind Armalus, to make him a captive. And entering the field with 30,000 armed nobles, shall put to the sword the 200,000 of his assistants. For this cause, Armalus, greatly enraged, shall gather together his forces in a deep valley, and Armageddon is supposed to be a valley also, to fight against Israel and to destroy no small number of Jacob's posterity, meaning the Jews. There shall Messiah, the son of Joseph, breathe his last. He will be slain, whom the holy angels shall take, hide, and casket up with their patriarchs of the world. Now the Jews have this concept of the sweetening of the Denim. If they have a worthy generation who stands behind Netanyahu, then the punishments, the severity of Armalus will be sweetened. And instead of Netanyahu being killed, it will be Armalus who will be killed, and the Denim will be sweetened, which is why Messiah, son of Joseph, of his generation, the Gaon of Vilna, said that all the Jews have to become the worthy generation and have to pray for the victory of Messiah, son of Joseph, over Armalus, so that his descendant, Netanyahu, will not be slain, but instead the leader of the Edomite Christian Roman West will be slain, and the Denim will be sweetened, the punishments. The Israelites shall be struck with such astonishment, their hearts shall fleet like water, but Armalus himself shall not know of the death of their Messiah, who otherwise would not leave them alone. Then shall all the nations of the earth banish the Jews out of their dominions. That's why I've been predicting for 20 years that there would be a Nazi movement that would take hold, that would try to conquer the whole earth in order to chase the Jews out of their nations, to bring about the ingathering of the Jews foretold in Deuteronomy and the prophets. And that is the role of these neo-Nazis, who are all frauds, who are being boosted as I'm being silenced, is to chase the Jews out and to fulfill this prophecy. This is their script. All these people are fulfilling this script. And I've been saying this consistently for 20 years. And I'm the only one who's been saying it. No way permitting them any longer to be their co-inhabitants. Moreover, such trouble and distress shall at that time perplex the Jews as hath not been from the beginning of the world. Then shall Michael, the archangel of the Christians, who betrays them, come and fan away the wicked in Israel, as it is written, at that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince. I'll get into all that in another thing. I want to focus primarily on Armalus. Conceive that 45 being added to the precedent number of 90, the last number of 1335 days doth arise. In that time, all the wicked in Israel shall perish. I've been warning the stupid Jews that their prophecies call for them to be wiped out. And now they're starting to get scared. They're starting to see all this is happening that I told them 20 years ago would happen. And they're starting to panic, and they're saying, oh, it's not us, it's not us. It's the U.S., it's Iran, it's Russia, but it's never us. They're not doing anything reasonable to turn this about. And if all this is fulfilled, they're going to be wiped out. In that time, all the wicked in Israel shall perish who are unworthy to be co-partners in such a deliverance. That's 2/3 of the Jews, to wipe out the mixed multitude and the stain of the seed of the Egyptians. Finally, Armalus, invading Egypt with great power, shall subdue it. As it is written, the land of Egypt shall not escape from Egypt. He shall muster his forces for Jerusalem, striving with might and main once to make it a desolate heap. He shall plant the tabernacle of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain, yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. We see Trump traveling around in the Middle East. He's no doubt going to have confabs with the Egyptians. All of this is going precisely according to script, and that is not, very much so, not a good thing. That portends our extermination. And the stupid Jews who are playing along with it, that portends wiping out 2/3 of them. As I've been warning humanity over and over again, and it's unfolding exactly as I predicted, and only I predicted. Then we have the Archangel Michael, who figures also in the book of Revelations. One other thing I wanted to talk about is this two-state solution idea. Again, if they create a two-state solution where Christianity has a stake in Jerusalem and the Palestinian people have a stake in Jerusalem, as the Zionists always agreed to, though it was very deceitful, that brings Armalus into Jerusalem in order to fulfill this script and the battle of Gog and Magog and the apocalypse, the Armageddon. Messiah, also the son of David, who then comes and kills off Armalus, together with his harbinger, Elias, meaning Elijah the prophet, and all the faithful, his followers in Israel, with great joy shall come into Jerusalem. So soon as this pierceth the ears of wicked Armalus, he will babble out, how long will this abject and base people thus behave themselves? Again, that echoes the way that Antiochus Epiphanes IV and Caligula Gaius Caesar used to talk. And shall once more, with a great army of Christians, hasten to Jerusalem to give battle to their newly inaugurated sovereign. This two-state solution idea could very well lead into this if they keep playing it out, or it could be played out simply symbolically, and the dinim can be sweetened for the Jews and only the Westerners be wiped out. But God shall not permit that the Israelites should fall out of the fire into the pit, but speaking unto Messias, the Messiah, shall say unto him, Come thou and sit at my right hand, and to the children of Israel sit you still, hold your peace, and quietly expect the great deliverance which the Lord this day will impart unto you. Then shall the Lord rain from heaven fire and brimstone. Brimstone is sulfur. They're trying to put sulfur into the upper atmosphere to geoengineer the world into hell. As it is recorded, I will plead against him with pestilence. We got hit with COVID and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many peoples that are with him, an ever-flowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone, sulfur to geoengineer the world into hell. Then shall Armalus with his whole army die, and the atheistical Edomites, meaning that they would worship the head of Rome, Armalus, and the Christians, they meaning the Amalekite, Edomite, Roman West, who laid waste to the house of our God and led us into captive into a strange land, as happened by Jesus Christ, Armalus, and by the Romans, and by Nebuchadnezzar, shall miserably perish. Then shall the Jews be revenged upon them. As it is written, the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau, that is, we Christians, as the Jews interpret it, whom they christen Edomites. I've been talking about this for 30 years, referring specifically to Obadiah 18, that we are Esau, the descendants of the Roman Amalekite Edomites, the Christian Edomites, and they're going to completely exterminate us, shall be for stubble. This stubble the Jews shall set in fire, that nothing be left to us Edomites, which shall not be burnt and turned into ashes. And Martin Luther was another one. This translation was made by Johannes Buxdorf, who was the premier scholar on Judaism of his day, as Martin Luther was in his day. Martin Luther said many of these same things to warn Christians about this. And then the best of them all, Johann Andreas Eisenmenger, this is Johannes Buxdorf, came along and really told the whole story. And they suppressed his book the way they try to suppress me. Again, we get into Michael, which I'll address another time. So that's the plan, to draw the Christians in, to establish Christian nationalism, to establish Nazism, to drive out the Jews, to pull the Christians into battle with Messiah, son of Joseph, Benjamin Netanyahu, under the duplicitous leadership of Armalus Trump, so that Netanyahu either gets slain by Trump or Trump by Netanyahu, according to these apocalypses. But then also, as these apocalypses are interpreted by the Messiah, son of Joseph, of his generation, the Gaon of Vilna, that dinim, that severity, that punishment of Gevurah, the power and the din of the planet Mars, of Samael, of Samael's son, the Antichrist Armalus, all that can be sweetened through Jewish prayer, that instead Messiah, son of Joseph, defeat Armalus. And that's why they're looking for this worthy generation of Jews to pray and be strong and get behind Netanyahu, to sweeten the dinim against the Jewish people, so that the Israelites are not wiped out, 2/3 of them, and only a remnant left, but instead that it is the West, which is completely destroyed. And they've set up the Samson option. They set up the system of mutually assured destruction. It was the Jews who created the A-bomb and the hydrogen bomb. It was the Jews who betrayed America and gave those secrets and technologies to the Soviets to create the system of mutually assured destruction between Leviathan and Behemoth, so that they could kill each other, and then the Jews could literally eat our flesh in the feast of the righteous, ushering in the world to come. So as I was saying for 30 years. And as I wrote about and discussed very publicly in 2006, I think they're following the script of that Avkat Rokel, which mirrors in many ways the script of the much older Sefer Zerubbabel. And I've touched upon it many times, talked about King Shiroi of Persia, et cetera, how it fits in the Zohar. Today, I'm just focusing on Armalus, but Armalus isn't the whole story. So please go back and watch my other videos about all of this. It's vitally important for people to understand, because they're gonna try to kill us all. I asked him, when will the light of Israel come? They're always talking about the light of Israel. And as I was speaking to him, behold, a man with 2 wings approached me and said to me, Zerubbabel, what are you asking the Messiah of the Lord? This is Messiah, son of David. I answered him and said, and Michael is Metatron. I asked when the appointed time for deliverance is to come. Ask me, he replied, and I will tell you. I said to him, Sir, who are you? He answered and said, I am Michael, the one who delivered good news to Sarah. I am the leader of the host of the Lord God of Israel, the one who battled with Sennacherib and smote 180,000 men. I am the prince of Israel, the one who fought battles against the kings of Canaan. In the time to come, I will fight the battles of the Lord against the Messiah of the Lord, he who sits before you with the king of the strong face, Azpanim, and with Armalus, the son of Satan, born of the marble statue in Rome, who represents the Virgin Mary, who gave birth to Jesus after having sex with Satan. So after Satan has sex with Armalus, he gives birth to the Christ returned as the Antichrist. Out of the new Mary comes the new Jesus, the Christ returned as the Antichrist, the spawn of the stone statue. The Lord has appointed me to be the commanding officer over his people and over those who love him, in order to do battle against the leaders of this nation. Michael, who is also Metatron, and who is portrayed in the figure of the Mashiach. I blessed him in the name of the Lord. I am the one who redeemed Isaac in the wilderness for 40 days, etc., the angel of the Lord. I continued asking there about the prince of the Holy Covenant. He held me close, and they brought me to the house of filth and scorn. There he showed me a marble stone in the shape of a maiden, Virgin Mary. Her features and form were lovely and indeed very beautiful to behold. This is also symbolic of Eve fornicating with Satan to produce Cain. This is the same story being regurgitated over and over again. Then he said to me, this statue is the wife of Belial. Belial is Hebrew for Satan. The Greek is Beliar. Satan will come and have intercourse with it, and a son named Armalus. Now in Avkat Rokel, it was the wicked who came and had sex with it. Here it is Satan, whose Greek name means he will destroy a nation. As I've been saying, the Shabbatians used to engage in orgies in order to produce this Antichrist, Armalus. He will rule over all peoples, as Trump is trying to do, and his dominion will extend from one earth to the other, as Trump is trying to do, and 10 letters will be in his hand, and there's supposed to be 10 nations led by the Antichrist in the battle of Gog and Magog. He will engage in the worship of foreign gods and speak lies. Trump is perpetually lying. No one will be able to withstand him, and anyone who does not believe in him, he will kill with the sword. Many among them will he kill. He will come against, and Trump is always threatening brutal wars and death. He will come against the holy people of the Most High, and with him there will be 10 kings, 10 letters, wielding great power and force, and he will do battle with the holy ones. He will prevail over them and will kill Messiah of the lineage of Joseph, Nehemiah ben Hushiel, and he will also kill 16 righteous ones alongside him. Then they will banish Israel to the desert in 3 groups. And they're teasing all this. And even just teasing it has to give the world a heads up that they're trying to fulfill all this crap and exterminate us, which is the end of this script. But Hephzibah, the mother of Menachem ben Amiel, who is Messiah, son of David, will remain stationed at the Eastern Gate. I was talking about the Eastern Gate recently and how that fits into all this and how he's supposed to ride a donkey in through the Eastern Gate, the Golden Gate, and how the Muslims put their headstones there. Look for my videos on that. That's very interesting. And we may see some of that unfolding very soon. But the remainder of the people and that wicked one will not enter there, thereby confirming what was written, but the remainder of the people will not be cut off from the city. Zechariah 14:2, this battle will take place during the month of Av, when all the catastrophes happen and when Shabbatai Tzevi was supposedly born. Israel will experience distress such as there never was before. They will flee into the towers, etc., etc. All Israel shall mourn. Nehemiah ben Hushiel, Messiah, son of Joseph, Benjamin Netanyahu, Menachem ben Amiel is the Messiah, son of David. And note, quite tellingly, that the Messiah, son of David is Menachem Mendel Schneerson. He is named Menachem ben Amiel, the Messiah, son of David. That is not coincidental. I have many texts which try to clarify that the Messiah's name will be Menachem, as in Menachem Mendel Schneerson, the 7th and final Lubavitcher Rebbe, who was to become the Messiah of the Jews, and said that Benjamin Netanyahu, Messiah, son of Joseph, will be the last prime minister of Israel. Lo and behold, because he's going to be slain by Armalus, potentially Armalus Trump. Well, kill him so that the reincarnated soul of Menachem Mendel Schneerson, Menachem ben Amiel, will take the throne as Messiah, son of David. They will flee into the towers among mountains and into caves, as the Essenes did. They are troglodytes, but they will be unable to hide from him. All the nations will go astray and after him, except for Israel, who will not believe in him. All Israel shall mourn. Nehemiah ben Hushiel, Messiah, son of Joseph, Benjamin Netanyahu, for 41 days. His thoroughly crushed corpse will be thrown before the gates of Jerusalem, but no animal, bird, or beast will touch it due to the intensity, etc., etc. You can go through and read this whole thing. I want to focus on Armalus. He said to me, Menachem ben Amiel, Messiah, son of David, will suddenly come on the 14th day of the first month, i.e., of the month of Nisan, and he will wait by the valley of Arbel at a tract which belonged to Joshua ben Jehozadak, the priest, and all the surviving sages of Israel. Only a few will remain due to the attack and pillage of Gog and Armalus, as in Gog and Magog. And the plunderers who despoiled them will come out to him. Menachem ben Amiel, Messiah, son of David, will say to the elders and sages, I am the Lord's Messiah. The Lord has sent me to encourage you and to deliver you from the powers of these adversaries. The elders will scrutinize and despise him, for they will see that despicable man garbed in rags, and they will despise him just as you previously did, but then his anger will burn within him, and he will don garments of vengeance as his clothes and put on a cloak of zealousness. Isaiah 59:17b. This is foretold in part in the Babylonian Talmud, Tractate Sanhedrin, I believe, folio 98. If it's not 98, it's 97. Talks about this leper Messiah by the gates of Rome. The mother of the Messiah will come and give him the rod by which signs are performed. All the elders will see Nehemiah ben Hersel is alive and standing. That's Messiah, son of David, who's going to slay Armalus with his prophet Elias. The Lord's Messiah will come. Messiah, son of David, Messiah ben Amiel, Menachem ben Amiel, the reincarnation of Menachem Mendel Schneerson, will come and breathe in the face of Armalus and thereby slay him, etc., etc. He will fight the battle of Gog Magog and against the army of Armalus, and all of them will fall dead in the valley of Arbel. The Christians have this as the valley of Armageddon. All of Israel will then issue forth and despoil their despoilers. We're all going to be killed. That's the sum of the story. This will be the third battle, for 3 battles will take place. One will be waged by Hephzibah with Shiroi, the king of Persia. I told you that battle would take place. I told you when it would take place. I told you who the winner would be, who the loser would be, and it happened exactly on the precise dates that I foretold. So listen to me, because I'm telling you this stuff is coming, and they're going to kill us all if we don't stop them. One will be waged with Hephzibah, with Shiroi, the king of Persia. One will be fought by the Lord God of Israel and Menachem ben Amiel, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, Habavitcher Rebbe, Mashiach. That's why they wave the yellow Mashiach flag. That's representing this Menachem ben Amiel in the spirit of the soul of Menachem Mendel Schneerson. With Armalus, I'm sorry I'm in the way, the 10 kings who are with him that Trump is summoning up, and Gog and Magog, and the third will be at Zela Ha-Eleph, where Nehemiah ben Hersel, Messiah son of Joseph, and Zerubbabel will see action. The third battle will take place in the month of Av, when all the catastrophes happen. The 10th king is Armalus, the son of Satan, who emerged from the sculptured stone. I think you guys have gotten the gist of this. Now Armalus with his mother, the statue from whom he was spawned from the house of filth. The Antichrist with his Virgin Mary mother. And from every place and from every nation will come and worship that stone, offer burnt offerings to her. This is the mark of Armalus. The color of his hair is similar to gold, and he is green like money, stands on money, soles of his feet. Rich Trump now, coincidentally fitting that role. Providence of Satan, the father of Belial, Samael, Satan. All who will see him will tremble before him. Menachem Mendel Schneerson will come before the Wadi Shittim. Why did Wadi Shittim? And breathe in the face of Armalus and thereby slay him. And so that is the Sefer Zerubbabel that I've been talking about for 30 years and writing about and very publicly discussing for 20 years to warn all you good people that we're about to be exterminated. And I knew the precise dates when these things would happen and how they would unfold, and they're doing it exactly as I told you they would. I gave you the names, I gave you the dates, I related it to these exact prophecies, and it is happening, believe me. So in my book, The World to Come, I quote extensively from all this, and I quote what it has to say about Armalus, which is very important. Teachings of Vilna Gaon in his book Kol HaTor, The Voice of the Turtle Dove. Yosef is still alive. Gaon of Vilna was Yosef, Messiah, son of Joseph. The basic approach of the Gaon is encapsulated in the principle Yosef is still alive, meaning the Mashiach ben Yosef is still alive and will live. And that's Benjamin Netanyahu now, the descendant of the Gaon of Vilna. Because it is written, every aspect of the beginning of redemption is dependent upon him. You can read my book, Beware the World to Come, or you can get this book, which is available as PDF online. The purpose of gathering in the exiles was to wage God's war against Amalek, which was the main mission of Joshua, in line with Mashiach ben Yosef. And Gaon of Vilna wanted 600,000 Jews, like the 600,000 exiles during the Exodus, to take over Palestine. And Natura Carta are the ones, the Perushim, who follow the Misnagdim of the Gaon of Vilna. They pretend to be anti-Zionist, but it's because they want their Mashiach ben Yosef to fight this war with Armalus, to lose, and then to have the Messiah, son of David, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, is who the Lubavitchers want it to be, come and kill Armalus, to kill our president, Armalus Trump. And I'm again giving Secret Service a heads up about all this. This portends, this constitutes an ancient death threat against the president of the United States, and they are fulfilling this script, so please take it seriously and protect him. The war against Amalek includes every aspect against all the enemies of Israel, including Armalus, the prince of the mixed multitude. He is the guardian angel. It is also intended to remove the spirit of impurity from the land and bring Knesset, Israel, and Shekinah, the female aspect of Yahweh, the Tetragrammaton, from below, from the earth. The opening of the war against Gog and Magog will start with the first redemption before the coming of the righteous Mashiach, Mashiach ben David, Messiah, son of David. May it be speedily in our day. And we heard Menachem Mendel Schneerson always talking about that, because he is Menachem ben Amiel. He is Mashiach ben David. He was. Some of them think he's still alive and hiding away in the tunnels, but they think that his soul certainly will be reincarnated into Mashiach ben David. Messiah Yosef is still alive. The independence of Mashiach ben Yosef is related to three categories. Mashiach ben Yosef from above is Metatron, the minister of interior, as is known. Yosef is Metatron, that's the heavenly aspect of Messiah, son of Joseph. There is a Gentile aspect and there is a Jewish aspect. Both of them are from the light above, and both are in the Sephirah Yesod, meaning righteousness. Jesus was righteous. Jesus was Metatron. Jesus was Messiah, son of Joseph, and active in the war against Armalus. Yesod is also called Tzaddik, meaning righteous. Yesod meaning foundation. Jesus was referred to as the righteous foundation. Especially in the war of Gog and Magog, he is helped by Sariah ben Daniel. In every generation, one Mashiach ben Yosef from below appears. He is a righteous person, a foundation, Yesod, of the world, the moon, who because of his deeds and the root of his soul, Yesod is the moon, merits acting for the salvation of Israel. Shekinah is the earth, the kingdom, carrying out helpful deeds and glorifying the Torah through his dedication. This refers to Mashiach ben Yosef, Messiah, son of Joseph from below, who is present in every generation. That's why we had it present in Jesus, we had it present in Gaon of Vilna, and today we have it present in Benjamin Netanyahu, as I was the first and only one to say. This Mashiach from below is present. We must pray that he not be killed by wicked Armalus, and that he should not die before he carries out completely his holy mission, that he should be able to stand up against Armalus, who seeks to cause him to fail in many ways, and that he should maintain faith in his great and holy mission until his last day. Secret Service, if you're listening, this constitutes a threat on the life of our president. Please take that very seriously, and please safeguard that life. David's throne, this refers to Mashiach ben Yosef. In the same verse we find, etc., etc., etc. There is a great and holy obligation. They are supposed to be the worthy generation that fulfills this holy obligation, they being the Jews of Israel and around the world, Mashiach. There is a great and holy obligation when we say the prayer that we always concentrate on praying that Mashiach ben Yosef will not be killed by the wicked Armalus. As it is said, I will raise the fallen tabernacle of David. Wherever the verb is used, it refers to Mashiach ben Yosef. About the aspect of Mashif Rose, this idea is also hinted at in the world with the purpose of the work is gathering the exiles to establish David's throne in our war against wicked Armalus. As revealed in the verse, the Lord wages war against Armalus. Everybody in the Pentagon, CIA, everyone involved with national security. The Jews' plan is to bring America into war so that they can annihilate us. This is their playbook. Please read it. Please understand it. Please listen to what I've been saying about it for 30 years. If you want to defend the United States, this is the greatest existential threat that they face, and they will bring all the enemies of the world against us to exterminate us. Do your job for once in American history and protect the American people from this plan that I am showing you. A righteous sprout, I will raise a sprout from David. A righteous sprout refers to the first Mashiach, Mashiach ben Yosef. He is the Gentile Mashiach, the firstborn, the chaos, the primordial chaos, which pre-exists before the divine light. Like David's throne, as explained above, it prepares the way for Mashiach ben David. We are greatly obliged to pray on his behalf that he not be killed in the war by Armalus. We have the Gaon of Vilna, who was Mashiach ben Yosef of his generation, calling upon the Jews to be the worthy generation, praying that he himself not be killed, or that his descendant in this dynasty, who is now Benjamin Netanyahu, not be killed in this war, which they are hinting at staging. You see that Donald Trump is trying to couple together the West, Esau, together with Ishmael. He is going to the Muslim countries. His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is deeply involved with the Saudis in business deals. This is a coupling of Ishmael and Esau. The Gaon of Vilna warned that that brings about the extermination of the Jews. So Trump is playing Armalus in that role as well, of bringing together Esau and Ishmael, which the Gaon of Vilna and which Benjamin Netanyahu are sworn to try to destroy. Because if Christendom and Islam, if Esau and Ishmael unite, especially the Arabs of Islam, that spells the doom of the Jews. And he warned very strictly against that. He being the Gaon of Vilna, being the Mashiach ben Yosef of his day. In all generations, the major tasks of the two Mashiachim, meaning the Messiahs, twin Messiahs, together, Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David, are self-defense and to wage war against the three heads of the outer shells or layers, Esau, Ishmael, and the mixed multitude. The special task of Mashiach ben Yosef is to counter Esau, meaning Christendom in the West and the Roman Empire of the West. The outer shell on the left, the special task of Mashiach ben David, against Ishmael is to counter Ishmael, the outer shelf on the right, and that's done by the heads of Islam and by Xi Jinping and by Vladimir Putin. The two Mashiachim together are duty-bound to operate against Esau and Ishmael, and by the Sephardic Jews, who are likened to an ox and a donkey. I've gone over that many times. Armalus, the angel of the mixed multitude, is the one who attempts to couple Esau and Ishmael, and this could destroy Israel and the entire world. Heaven forbid. The main desire of the mixed multitude, as in the Egyptians, as in Hagar, who gave birth to Ishmael, the Egyptian, the coupling of Ishmael and Esau brings about the destruction of the Jews. So the main task is for them to prevent that from happening. So we have Benjamin Netanyahu trying to keep Trump from doing that. This is deliberate. This is the script. I am showing you the script. I'm the only one in the world showing you the script. I've been waving it in your face for 20 years. This script ends with our extermination. This is not God's doing that this is happening. They are stage playing. They are fulfilling this act, following this script. They have all the characters in place, and they're following it to the letter. Please listen to me. The main desire of the mixed multitude is to couple Esau and Ishmael, just as happened as the Jews fled in the Exodus, and to separate the two Mashiachim, to keep Messiah, son of Joseph, and Messiah, son of David, from being united as one being. Our main task to counter, even battle such deeds, so they may potentially try to kill the President of the United States. We must destroy the might out of the mixed multitude, the layer of the wicked Armalus, and drive them out of Israel. The mixed multitude is our greatest enemy, for it separates the two Mashiachim, Messiah, son of David, Messiah, son of Joseph. The outer shell of the mixed multitude operates only by delusions and indirectly. Therefore, the war against the mixed multitude is the most difficult and bitter, and we must wage war against it and overpower it with all our might. Anyone who does not participate in the war against the mixed multitude, they have to be the worthy generation to wage this war and to pray for the success of Messiah, son of Joseph, against Armalus. He is actually becoming a partner of the layer of the mixed multitude. Whoever he is, he would have been better off had he not been born. The primary power of the mixed multitude is at the gates of Jerusalem, particularly at the entrance to the city, which is on the western middle line. You hear Roseanne Barr speaking out against the Erev Rav, against the mixed multitude. All the Jews are being called to become the worthy generation. Trump is playing the scripted role of Satan, of the Antichrist, that they are to wage war against, and he's to bring the whole world against them, and then the whole world is to be exterminated by them. They evidently believe they have the worthy generation now, and they are carrying this out. According to our prophets and the Gaon's explanations, the goal of redemption is the redemption of truth and sanctification of God. The purpose of our activity in general is to wage war against Armalus. That's waging war against America, against the West, against white people, by gathering in the exiles and settling the Holy Land. That was done by Hitler, who was also Armalus, and that is being done by this fake staged rise in neo-Nazism to scare the bejesus out of the Jews so that they flee to Israel. This is all being staged. This script was set up 2,500 years ago. I'm the only one who is explaining it, the only one who understands it. Please listen to me. My predictions have all come true. This is what Isaiah means by the words, he has redeemed Jerusalem, which is called the city of truth. Redemption of truth can only occur after the klipa, the kelly pot, shell layer of Esau, the hardest husk and shell of the shattered shards of the vessels of chaos that appears in the form of Armalus, Amalek, the epitome of the truth hater, the Sitra Achra of Samael, Satan, the other side, Belial, Beliar, as the Greeks called it, or transliterated it. Esau hates Jacob, the epitome of truth, as indicated in the statement, you will grant truth to Jacob, Micah 7:20. But it also states that God hates Esau and loves Jacob. They absolutely need white people to play the role of Satan to engage in this war against the Jews. They provoke the white people to hate Jacob. They are creating this neo-Nazi movement to play the role of Esau hating Jacob. It is a vital element of their script. Don't step into the trap. Defeat them in the ways that I am proposing to defeat them so that we don't get obliterated and exterminated. Redemption, Mashiach ben Yosef, who bears our sickness and suffers. He's the suffering Messiah. Jesus was a suffering Messiah. Suffers our pain in his war against the enemy of Israel, the wicked Armalus. As it says, again, Obadiah 18, in the house of Jacob will be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau will become a straw. The house of Jacob is the house of Messiah, son of David. The house of Joseph is the house of Messiah, son of Joseph. And the house of Esau is the house of Armilus, that is to be burned down. And saviors will ascend Mount Zion to judge Mount Esau, Mount Seir, the scapegoat, and the kingdom will be the Lord's, and the Lord will become king over the whole earth. This again is from this same book. Armalus, the angel of the mixed multitude, is the one who attempts to couple Esau and Ishmael, and this could destroy Israel and the entire world, heaven forbid. I think I'm simply requoting it. And then I go on to explain this stage battle between Leviathan and Behemoth. I hope you pick up my book, Beware the World to Come. I laid all this down. People are attempting to steal it from me, but they can't because they don't really understand it. You'll see from this presentation, I'm the only one in the world who really understands it and is giving you the full picture of what's happening, of Armalus trying to unite Christendom and Islam and to bring it against Israel, of Netanyahu playing the role of Messiah, son of Joseph, to combat all this. If only symbolically all this has played out in these 2 weeks. I foretold all this before this happened, and I really brought it specifically to Armalus versus Messiah, son of Joseph in April, and am doing this through May. Adam Green is a man who perpetually plagiarizes my work, and he's now started to copy what I've been saying. If you hear him repeating this, please remind him that plagiarism is wrong, and he is being a deceitful wretch trying to steal my work. And that's the story, ladies and gentlemen. We see that they've been putting out this script after this came out, after I said that Trump is playing Armalus. And Benjamin Netanyahu, I've been saying for decades, is playing the role of Messiah, son of Joseph, and they are staging this fight betwixt the two. After I said that, it then comes out that Trump may recognize a Palestinian state. We're yet to see if anything comes of that. But if it does, pay particular attention to how they're going to divvy up Jerusalem. That's key to these prophecies. And the response of Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli people will determine whether they are the worthy generation or not. And if it is determined that they are the worthy generation, then they're going to bring on the apocalypse, the battle of Gog and Magog, and they're going to kill all of us. If you people don't wake up and listen to me after these 30 years of my sacrificing my life for your benefit to try to warn you about this. Chuckleberry Huckabee has been flip-flopping on this, saying that it's true that that America is not going to try to interfere with any missiles sent at Israel unless they are directed at Americans. But on the other side of it, he's still the hardcore Zionist, saying that America stands with Israel. So they're playing the game both ways to see how we react. They're testing the waters. And even more importantly than testing the waters of the Christian West, they are testing the waters of the Israelis to see whether or not they have the balls to be the worthy generation. And if it is determined that they are, then they're going to play out this script to the end until we're all exterminated if we don't do something to defend ourselves, other than these morons Zig Heiling and playing the role of Hitler, so that they ensured that this script of Esau hates Jacob plays out again as it did in World War II. And you saw what happened to Germany. These clowns never tell you that Germany lost, and they lost big. And all the women in Eastern Germany were brutally raped, from girls age 8 to 80 were brutally gang raped, some of them to death. They were given syphilis and all other kinds of horrible diseases by the Soviets under Ilya Ehrenberg, who directed them to wipe out the racial spirit of the Germans, representing Edom in Megillah in the Talmud. It identifies Germany with Edom and with Amalek. And that is the Nazis, as I pointed out over and over again, would host parades in which they would portray themselves as the Roman Empire and adopt Roman culture and Roman garb and Roman architecture, all to portray this reemergence at the end of the cycle of Pisces of Rome, as I've been portraying and as Adam Green tries to steal from me over and over again. So that's the story, ladies and gentlemen. We are in grave danger. Trump is the two-headed Armalus, the god emperor, Antiochus Epiphanes, the fourth of the Greeks, Caligula, Gaius Caesar of the Romans, setting about to interfere with the temple and to mislead the Jews to worship foreign gods like Jesus and Christianity. And the Christian evangelicals are insisting that Jews convert to Judaism, to Christianity. And all this is happening. It's all by design. They want to unite Esau and Ishmael under Armalus, under Trump, under the Abraham Accords, in order to fulfill this prophecy. It's all being staged so that they can panic and wage this war in which they bring about the apocalypse and attempt to exterminate all the rest of humanity and 2/3 of Jews. If you don't like that idea, if that doesn't appeal to you, if you're not insane and believe that all this has to happen, then we need to fight back and defend ourselves. And I think in my next presentation, I'm going to talk more about what it is that we have to do, and we have to capitalize on this neo-Nazi crap that they're pulling off to redirect it into a positive direction, away from its satanic direction, into a way that can actually provide a defense for us against all that. I want to thank my supporters who have contributed to me. I have Buy Me a Coffee links, PayPal links, and cryptocurrency wallet numbers where you can contribute to keep me going in this fight. Tell Adam Green to stop plagiarizing my work, and beware the world to come. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see all you great and wonderful people in my next presentation, which may well be on solutions. Goodbye for now.